The sky over New York City turned an eerie shade of red as alien ships descended, their shadows casting a pall over the skyscrapers. Panic erupted in the streets below. People ran in every direction, desperate to escape the laser beams tearing through buildings and sending debris raining down. In the midst of the chaos, Captain Sarah Mitchell, an ex-military officer with a knack for leadership, took charge. She had seen her fair share of combat, but nothing prepared her for this. The Krillians, an advanced alien race, had launched a full-scale invasion, and Earth was woefully unprepared. "Everyone, this way!" Sarah shouted, waving a group of terrified civilians into a subway station. "We need to get underground." A young man clutching a crying child stumbled up to her. "What's happening? Are we safe here?" Sarah placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "We'll be safer down here than up there. Stay close and stay quiet." As they descended into the dimly lit station, Sarah's mind raced. She needed to form a plan. She scanned the faces around her, looking for anyone who might have useful skills. Among the frightened crowd, she spotted Dr. Emily Chen, a brilliant scientist she recognized from a recent news article. "Dr. Chen!" Sarah called out, pushing through the crowd to reach her. "I need your help. Do you know anything about these aliens?" Emily nodded, her face pale but determined. "I've been studying their technology. They rely heavily on a central command ship. If we can take it down, we might have a chance to disrupt their operations." Sarah's eyes narrowed with determination. "Then that's our goal. We gather as many resources as we can and find a way to strike at their heart." Over the next few hours, they worked tirelessly, coordinating with other survivor groups through makeshift communication lines. They discovered that the Krillians' ground troops, while powerful, were vulnerable when isolated from their command structure. This gave Sarah an idea. "Listen up, everyone," Sarah addressed the gathered survivors. "We're forming a resistance. We'll use guerrilla tactics, hit them where it hurts, and make them regret ever setting foot on our planet. We're not just fighting for survival, we're fighting for our home." The group, bolstered by her resolve, nodded in agreement. They knew the road ahead would be dangerous, but under Sarah's leadership, they felt a spark of hope. The fight for Earth had just begun, and they were ready to make their stand. Captain Sarah Mitchell's resistance group quickly expanded, connecting with other survivor cells across the country. They established a covert network to share information and resources, utilizing old military frequencies and secure internet channels. The remnants of the U.S. military, local militias, and even everyday citizens joined forces, all driven by a common goal: to reclaim their planet from the Krillian invaders. In a hidden underground bunker in the Appalachian Mountains, Sarah and her team worked around the clock. Maps and blueprints covered the walls, and tables were strewn with makeshift weapons, radios, and salvaged technology. Sarah stood at the center, coordinating their efforts. "Reports are coming in from the West Coast," said Marcus, a former Navy SEAL and now Sarah's second-in-command. "They're using hit-and-run tactics, taking out Krillian patrols and supply lines. It's working." Sarah nodded, her eyes scanning the maps. "Good. We need to keep them on their toes, make them spread their forces thin. What's our status on the intel from Dr. Chen?" Dr. Emily Chen stepped forward, adjusting her glasses. "We've confirmed the location of the Krillian Central Command ship. It's in geostationary orbit over North America. If we can take it down, it'll cripple their operations on the ground." A murmur of excitement rippled through the room. Sarah raised her hand to quiet them. "This is our chance, but we can't rush in blindly. We need a plan, and we need the right people for the job." Over the next few days, they assembled a team of the best fighters and tech experts they could find. Among them was Jake, a hacker who had previously worked for a major tech company, and Maria, a former Air Force pilot with experience in both combat and reconnaissance missions. "We're going to infiltrate the command ship," Sarah announced to the assembled group. "Dr. Chen and Jake will handle the technical side, getting us access and disabling their systems. Maria will pilot us in, and Marcus and I will lead the assault team. This is a high-risk mission, but it's our best shot at turning the tide." As they trained and prepared, the bonds among the team members grew stronger. They shared stories of lost loved ones and the lives they had left behind. Each had their reasons for fighting, and those reasons fueled their determination. One night, around a small fire in the bunker, Marcus turned to Sarah. "Do you think we can really pull this off?" Sarah looked around at the faces illuminated by the flickering flames. "We have to, for everyone who didn't make it this far, and for those who are counting on us. We've come this far, and we won't back down now." The night before the mission, Sarah addressed the entire resistance network via radio. "Tomorrow we strike at the heart of the enemy. This is not just our fight, but the fight of every human being on this planet. Stay strong, stay united, and remember, we're fighting for our home." As dawn broke, the team boarded a stealth aircraft, their faces set with grim determination. The fate of humanity rested on their shoulders, and they were ready to do whatever it took to reclaim their world. The day of the mission had arrived. Captain Sarah Mitchell and her team were ready, their nerves steeled for the task ahead. They boarded the stealth aircraft, a sleek black machine equipped with the latest technology salvaged and repurposed for their mission. Maria, the former Air Force pilot, took the controls, her hands steady as she guided them toward the skies. "Everyone ready?" Sarah asked, her voice calm but firm. The team nodded, each member checking their gear one last time. Jake, the hacker, clutched a device he had rigged to disrupt the Krillian systems, while Dr. Emily Chen had a portable computer strapped to her side, ready to assist. As they ascended, the city below became a distant memory, replaced by the vast expanse of the sky and the dark silhouette of the Krillian command ship looming ahead. The ship was enormous, its metallic surface bristling with alien technology. "Approaching the target!" Maria announced. "Stealth mode engaged! We should be able to get close without being detected." The tension in the cabin was palpable. Sarah glanced around at her team, their faces determined. "This is it. We get in, disable their systems, and take control. Stick to the plan, and we'll make it out alive." The aircraft docked with the command ship, the hatch opening with a hiss. They moved swiftly, navigating the alien corridors with the help of the captured Krillian engineer, who had provided them with a detailed layout of the ship. "Remember, we need to reach the control center," Dr. Chen reminded them, her eyes scanning the strange symbols and lights. "Once there, Jake and I will start the system override." They encountered resistance almost immediately. Krillian soldiers, tall and formidable, blocked their path. Marcus led the charge, his military training evident as he took down the first wave with precision. The others followed suit, their movements coordinated and efficient. As they fought their way deeper into the ship, Sarah noticed something strange. Among the Krillians, a few seemed hesitant, almost reluctant to engage. One in particular caught her eye. A young Krillian who lowered his weapon and stepped back, his eyes filled with something akin to fear. "Hold fire!" Sarah shouted. The team paused, their weapons trained on the Krillian. "Why aren't you attacking?" The alien hesitated, then spoke in halting English. "I do not believe in this war. Many of us do not." Dr. Chen stepped forward, her curiosity piqued. "Are you saying there are dissenters among you?" The Krillian nodded. "Yes, we were forced into this conflict by our leaders. Not all of us agree." Sarah exchanged a look with Marcus. "This could change everything. Can you help us?" The Krillian seemed to consider, then nodded again. "I will show you the way." With their new ally guiding them, the team reached the control center faster than anticipated. Jake and Dr. Chen set to work immediately, their fingers flying over the controls as they initiated the override. "Almost there," Jake muttered, sweat beading on his forehead. "Just a few more seconds." Suddenly alarms blared and the doors slammed shut. The control room filled with Krillian soldiers, their leader, a towering figure with a menacing presence at the forefront. "You will not succeed," the leader growled. "This ends now." Sarah stepped forward, her weapon raised. "No, it doesn't. This is just the beginning, for us and for your people." A fierce battle ensued, the team fighting desperately to hold their ground while Jake and Dr. Chen completed their task. The young Krillian, true to his word, fought alongside them, taking down his own kind with a resolve born of conviction. Finally, the control panel lit up, indicating the override was successful. Jake let out a triumphant shout. "We did it! The ship is under our control!" The Krillian leader, realizing defeat, roared in fury. But before he could act, Sarah and Marcus incapacitated him, securing the room. "Broadcast the message," Sarah instructed Dr. Chen. "Let the rest of the resistance know we've succeeded." As the message went out, the tide of the battle began to turn. The Krillian forces on Earth, cut off from their command, faltered. The human resistance surged forward, their spirits renewed. In the control center, Sarah turned to the young Krillian. "Thank you. You helped us win today." He nodded, a faint smile on his alien features. "Perhaps now our people can find peace." The battle for the Krillian command ship was over, but the fight to secure Earth's future had just begun. With the command ship under human control, the Resistance now had a powerful tool at their disposal. The Krillian forces on the ground, disoriented and leaderless, began to retreat, providing a much-needed respite for the battered human defenders. In the days that followed, the Resistance coordinated a series of targeted strikes against remaining Krillian strongholds. Using the command ship's communication systems, they broadcast messages of surrender to Krillian units, urging them to lay down their arms and join the growing movement of dissenters. Captain Sarah Mitchell, now regarded as the leader of the global resistance, stood on the bridge of the command ship, looking out at the Earth below. "We've come a long way," she said, her voice tinged with both pride and exhaustion. Marcus, standing beside her, nodded. "But there's still a lot to do. The Krillians won't give up easily, and we need to rebuild what we've lost." Dr. Emily Chen entered the bridge holding a datapad filled with reports. "We've received messages from all over the world. More and more Krillian soldiers are defecting. They want peace just as much as we do." Sarah smiled. "It's a start. We need to ensure their safety and integrate them into our efforts. Trust is going to be key." Down on Earth, scenes of cooperation between humans and Krillians became more common. In the ruins of New York City, former enemies worked side by side to clear debris and rebuild. Jake, the hacker, had set up a command center to coordinate these efforts, using the command ship's resources to provide aid where it was needed most. One afternoon, as the sun cast a warm glow over the devastated landscape, Sarah addressed a large crowd of survivors and defected Krillians. "Today we stand together not as enemies but as allies. We have shown that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit is unbreakable. Together we will rebuild our world and ensure a future where all can live in peace." The crowd erupted in cheers, their spirits lifted by her words. Among them, the young Krillian who had helped them during the mission watched with a sense of hope. His people were beginning to see humans not as adversaries, but as fellow beings striving for a better future. In the months that followed, the Resistance evolved into a new global alliance. Krillian technology was adapted to aid in reconstruction, and former soldiers from both sides became ambassadors of peace, working to bridge the gap between their species. Sarah, now a prominent figure in this new world, continued to lead with strength and compassion. One evening, as she walked through a rebuilt section of New York, she met with Maria, the former Air Force pilot. "Hard to believe how much has changed," Maria said, looking around at the new buildings and bustling streets. Sarah nodded. "It is, but we did it. We turned the tide and proved that humanity could stand against any threat." Maria smiled. "And we did it together." As the sun set, casting a golden hue over the city, Sarah felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The fight had been long and hard, but they had emerged stronger, united by their resilience and hope for a brighter future. And so, the story of Earth's last stand became a tale of human resilience, a testament to the unyielding spirit that had turned the tide of war and forged a path to peace.